Right now on Up with KREM, in the fight against COVID-19 in Washington state, deaths are on the rise. The new concerns from health leaders as flu season approaches.
The man accused of shooting 2 people in Pullman turned himself in.
He is not a threat. He's never, ever been in trouble.
This morning, why his family claims he's innocent.
A landmark lawsuit that stemmed from a tweet about an immigration sweep on a Greyhound bus is leading to change.
We've got a cool few days ahead, but how rare is warm weather this time of year? Well, the good news is, I know. The bad news is, you might not like it.
Up with KREM begins now with Tim Pham, Channing Curtis, and Jeremy Legoo.
We have some breaking news this morning as Pfizer has submitted data to the FDA to get their COVID-19 vaccine approved for kids ages 5 to 11. Good morning and thanks for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. The company is expected to make a formal request for emergency authorization in the coming weeks. The trial in the data submitted today included more than 2,000 participants.
Now, according to Pfizer's study, the vaccine provided successful antibodies that protected the kids from severe COVID symptoms. The dose Pfizer is suggesting is smaller than the vaccine for people ages 12 and up.
I think we're like on a razor's edge of close to that. I think we're kind of leveling off. So I'm hoping that that we've seen the worst of it.
Idaho remains under crisis standards of care, and while Washington is nearing the same conditions.
Yeah, Nicole Hernandez joining us now live. Nicole, why do doctors say hospitals are at their breaking point? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Right now I'm live at Cliff Drive overlooking Sacred Heart, one of our biggest hospitals here in Spokane. And while we're seeing cases of COVID-19 go down, there's less actual cases or hospitalizations for COVID-19. We're still seeing a good amount of COVID-19 deaths in our hospitals. So local health experts are saying if things get much worse, there's a chance that hospitals here would have to go into those crisis standards of care. This would mean rationing care for patients because there's not enough supplies or space. A doctor over at Overlake Hospital in Bellevue says staffing shortages are also causing a strain on hospitals in the state.
I've never experienced anything like this as far as the amount of stress on a particular staff and the amount of burnout that people are facing and fatigue and where resources just seem so scarce. I've just never encountered anything like this. So.
Now, right now, there are more than 1,200 COVID patients in hospitals across Washington state. That's down more than 200 from last week. Almost all of those are unvaccinated. While hospitalizations are going down, the state is averaging about 30 COVID deaths every single day. The COVID vaccine is still the most effective way to prevent infection, according to health experts. And coming up in the next half hour, I'm going to go over exactly why this upcoming flu season could cause even more issues during this pandemic. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
All right, thank you, Nicole. The time is now 6:03. Tim, I know you were out walking Baxter this morning.
I did.
Did you miss the rain?
I did miss the rain.
Good.
I looked at my weather app and found the small gap in the rain clouds and managed to get a walk in, but still wet paws this morning, right, Jeremy, for anyone walking the doggos this morning?
Oh yeah, wet paws and
wet
road
paws.
spray. The rain's kind of winding down. I didn't grab the umbrella this go round because it's a couple of light sprinkles right now here on the South Hill, but not too terribly bad. 48 degrees still, so we haven't changed much in terms of temperatures. And Tim just said a moment ago while Nicole was talking that, oh wow, it's still very dark. And yes, it is. That is, welcome to fall. It's fall, y'all. That's really it. That's one of the many signs out there, but notice temperatures staying a little bit cooler this morning. We aren't moving much. 47 in Coeur d'Alene, 46 up in Sandpoint, 49 in Moses Lake, and 45 in Wenatchee. Those are cooling down a bit more because they don't have the cloud cover or moisture. We all get the wind though. It's a bit breezy again as we move through the day today. And as our showers move out, we'll see some lingering shower activity later this afternoon, but here is the bulk of it now moving off to the east, making its way into far eastern Washington and North Idaho. We're still hanging on to a few more lingering bits of moisture down in the Palouse. But as we move through the day, expect a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms. It's one of those ones where it's going to be fueled by a big temperature difference between the ground and the atmosphere overhead. It's going to be much colder in the atmosphere above us, and that's going to give us some of those spotty showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon. Those eventually move out, and Wednesday's looking much drier and much sunnier. But today, another soggy, cloudy, and even a bit rainy across the region.
The man accused of shooting 2 people and killing one of them in Pullman over the weekend faced a judge for the first time on Monday.
Now the suspect, George Melvin Harris, turned himself into Pullman police early Saturday morning. The victim who died was actually one of Harris's roommates.
While in court, Harris's mother and another roommate told the judge Harris is not a threat and he acted in self-defense.
This was just such a tragic event. Nobody could have predicted. And he is not a threat. He's never, ever been in trouble. He's not that type of person. Honestly, he was just defending himself.
He just was put in a situation where he had to defend himself. It's just a terrible accident. He doesn't get in trouble. We just focus on school, work, and nothing else.
Harris is currently facing charges of second-degree assault.
Now, WSU wide receiver Brandon Gray was the other person who was injured in that shooting.
And Coach Rolovich says he found out early in the morning when the Cougs were in Salt Lake City for the game against Utah.
So Coach Rolovich says he's very proud of how the team handled the situation.
There was a lot of emotion. That's just a hard thing to hear on the morning of a game when, I thought we were in a really good mindset to play. We talked about playing inspired football for BG. Of course, it could have gone better and could have been better, but how they approached it and how they did it and the effort they put forth, what I think people saw is commendable.
Gray is not a part of the team's traveling roster, which is why he was not with the team. Rolovich says Gray is in stable condition. 6:07 on the dot. It is time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Spokane police are still looking for that missing North Spokane teen. 17-year-old McKenna J. Martinez was last seen in the 8900 block of North Colton Road. She was wearing a black tank top and gray leggings and has shoulder-length purplish red dyed hair. Spokane police say that she has some disabilities. Any information about where she might be should be reported to police right away.
Investigators are saying the fire started in an abandoned building near East Trent Avenue was actually an arson. Crews say no one was found inside of the building and no injuries were reported. However, the building is considered a total loss. So many of you reached out to us asking why your phones showed hazardous air quality. Well, the fire actually caused bad air quality in parts of Spokane near the fire on Monday morning, but overall air quality for the rest of the city remained good.
Former Lewiston Representative Aaron Von Ellinger is in custody. The 39-year-old Von Ellinger was arrested in Georgia on Saturday, a little more than 2 weeks after a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's accused of rape as well as sexually assaulting a 19-year-old State House intern.
A lawsuit filed by dozens of state employees over the governor's vaccine mandate are heading to Olympia. A Walla Walla County judge granted the state attorney general's motion to have the case moved. But the lawyer for the state employees argued the case should stay in Walla Walla, claiming the community could potentially be impacted if employees at the state penitentiary are located in that city get fired. Nearly 10% of the state employees impacted by the mandate filed for exemptions.
Well, here's some good news. The Mariners beat the Oakland A's 13-4 at home. Now, with this win, the Mariners are now just a game and a half back from claiming a wild card spot. The A's took the lead early on when they led 4-3 in the fourth inning, but that quickly changed when the Mariners gained 4 runs in the inning. The Mariners will take on the A's again later today. Now that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKREM on social media.
Well, if you celebrate Halloween, you may want to buy your costumes and decorations now. And in our next half hour, investigators ruled out a factor in the deadly Amtrak derailment, and we learned more about the 3 people who died in the crash.
And we are quite a bit colder today than where we were this time yesterday. Temperatures dropped by almost 15 degrees across the region in just 24 hours. We'll talk what that means for our afternoon highs.